What do you do when you've reached the top of your mountain? If you've been going to the gym, say for the last 6 months, because you hate the way you looked, and you're like work, and now you've got a 6-pack, you've got a 1.3, maybe shoulder to waist ratio. I think that's it. Could be 1.6, but like you have the David Lade physique. What do you do then? I've spoken about this in a previous video, and then didn't want that to go on for ages, and so we're here now. But so hello if you're from that video. But yeah, I had a mate who at 15 was told he was going to die, and so his existential battle was really for his own existence. I've had a bunch of stuff with myself of working really hard at school, and then again topping my school, and then just kind of being a bit, you feel like you're disillusioned, but it pales in comparison to this dude who's actually had to face his own mortality as a kid. And yeah, so last night we're both just walking through a park at 12 and just having a really real conversation. And man, this is what I love about humans. It's so good. I think conversation is the best place to be. I love where it is mentally. If I can get into a good conversation, just keep talking. And I've noticed even with these videos, I now go so much less, and I feel more articulate. And that's a really good takeaway. If you just do something, the best way to learn is by immersion. It really is. Use that. I need to work on not diverging so much. And the irony that I've just gone there, but oh well. So we're just kind of there, both talking about how hard life is, because now that we've won our respective fights or our quests, obviously I'm slightly getting mogged by the dude who's slain death, but yeah, each their own. I've got my little I did well at school thing. And gym. What do you do then? And fortunately, I'm still in a place where, and he is too, pretty much just because of our age, but also our families and where we've come from, that we're going to have to make a living for ourselves. That's the next thing we've got to focus on. I'm very well aware that what I want to do is to build out the capacity to provide a life for people that is amazing, just really good. And so, that leads you to, if you pick something and you follow it, and you really follow it, you begin to sort of see the world through a lens of that. And depending on what you pick, you can really make your life interesting in that way. Let's just waffle about my girlfriend for a bit. Because of a long distance relationship, and because of just a language barrier as well. Not her English is super good, but it's my side because she's Polish and I don't speak Polish that well. But or should I say ale? I know that kind of picking this and then just deciding, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. That gives me my little quest to follow along. And in a weird way, it's kind of a sense I know that the man I'll become because of it, what it would take of me to do that, and what it requires of me is fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. And I know I want that. I want to have a fucking awesome life. But there's a thing called somebody's trilemma, like a dilemma, but with 3 solutions. And it's, if you ask what the meaning of life is, Navar, like someone spoke about it, but if someone, you ask what the meaning of life is, you can ask what an answer to that question would look like. If I ask you what 2 plus 4 is, you might not know the answer. Hopefully you do, because if you didn't, well, then how could you understand what I'm saying to you? But actually, that's a good point. Anyways, 2 plus 4, you know the answer to that question is not going to be a colour. You know it's going to look like a number. You might not know what number it is, but you know it's going to be a number. Logical answers to the question of, like, what is the meaning of life? 3. Trilemma. Like, there are 3 different things it can look like. You can have an axiom. You can be like, okay, so why this, why this, why this, why this, why this? And then God, science, the Big Bang. It stops there. This is the fundamental truth. A lot of people do that. You can have circular reasoning of, oh, well, why this because of A? Okay, well, why A because of B? Why B because of A? And that's logically sound as well. And the last one is just that it is. Like, it just kind of is. And it's nice, because if there was one meaning, you know, it'd be boring. Like, you get this life, and you really get to make of it what you want. There's so many good quotes about this, and none of it really captures the nuances. Something that has to be felt. But there's a real weight in that. Your life is completely what you make of it. And it's why it'd be simpler if someone could just tell you what to do. Like, oh no, the meaning of life's this. Just go do that. So, oh, thank you. I don't have to worry about, like, not wasting it. But it's just these ways we've been taught to think. You know, school teaches you a very quick dopamine cycle of, you need to do this, and as soon as you do it, like a test, okay? Like, I know what I need to do for the test, and I know to do the meaning of doing well is to get a higher mark on the test, and I can go into the test, and then I can find out how I've done immediately. And life doesn't work like that, because I go do the test, and then I can literally lead the test, and I'll be like, what did you get for question 6? This is Alex Hormozy, by the way. And then my friend can tell me, like, I know immediately how I've done. And life doesn't work like that. Life is like, you throw stuff out into the ether until some shit sticks on the wall, but you don't know how long it's going to take. And it's the same with, like, this. Like, we kind of want just a meaning to life to reach out for us, because 1, it would be simpler, but 2, maybe that's just how you're taught to think. Like, you have, like, your behaviours, man, I'm going to ramble for ages and ages, potentially. And so you could easily see, like, 4 videos come up today. And honestly, that would be too slow. I wouldn't even need to talk about the week I've had. I mean, Tony Robbins is someone I've started watching recently, and the way he speaks about almost like a science. How do you approach the questions like, what makes me want to work, what makes me want to change and stuff? And there's a certain pride. You want to just sit back and go, like, well, you know, I don't really know, I just kind of am, okay? And then there may be a sort of thing of, oh, I don't want to think about it, because of, like, there might be a shame because of it, and so you don't want to talk about it that way. But after, like, listening to him a bunch, you kind of realise, and you just kind of are, and it's wonderful, because then, like, you realise that all of these things that make you are a lot simpler than you think. And this is what I've learned from, like, psychology. ChatGPT, amazing psychologist. Just for, like, scraping resources. A few months ago, I had, like, little bits of trauma associated with relationships. Not like a romantic relationships was one of it, but it was just, like, in the broader sense of talking to people, I couldn't, or there was, like, an underlying, I can't even remember what it was. I I don't think it's super necessary, but so I think it's okay if I don't remember. It maybe would be good. I can speak about it in another video. But yeah, there was like an underlying sort of like a thing that I had that I didn't like, and I was like, is that just me? Is that just me? And you're not. You can literally change the way you think. And what opened my mind to it originally was that, have I dropped a bowl on the floor? Holy shit, I have. Fucking hell. My bag's been in, my coat has been in here for like the week I've spent just like chilling in London, and not making videos. And now I've just found it in the shed 9 days later, and a bowl was there, which is not this bowl here, and that thing's upside down on the floor, and I have no idea how it got there. Anyways, but you can really change the way you think, and it's really weird that I'm feel great. I'm now in like a mindset of I can learn anything. I can learn anything. I can become anything I want to be, and I truly believe that. And I wonder, I mean, if everyone has this, if you don't, I really hope you do. And this is like my motivation for making these videos, because if I could tell myself like a year ago, all of this shit, he would be like, what the fuck? He'd look at me like a madman. And I think it's really easy to, just like look in on someone else and not understand. Like, you humble yourself is the first thing you do. The first thing I'd say, if you're like trying to find God, humble yourself. And then just like, I'm in a wonderful place in my life, and I'm very grateful for it. I need to remember what I was talking about. I can't remember what I was talking about, but I do know that I do want to talk about this. My friend is an atheist, and so we're just sat there, both at the top of our hills, thinking, well, what do we do now? Because we've got, hopefully, like 70 years of life to live. We're just there to, like, kids, pretty much. What do we do? And you don't want to have we just feel a bit disillusioned, my friend more than me, because like, you can't tell him, well, if you go to university, you'll be satisfied, because sure, I mean, you can climb the hill of university, but you can't get much cooler than the hill of life. And I've got enough like pattern recognition to extrapolate from where I'm at. And yeah, I think I might have remembered, hopefully. And I can extrapolate from where I'm at to be like, well, I'm starting to see this cycle of, I did well at school, I did well at gym. I know that doing well at YouTube isn't going to like satisfy me. It'll be nice. It'll be really, really nice. But, it's just another thing. So what do you do? Is the point that you're never satisfied? And it's the meaning of life. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. It's kind of good. You never reach a point where, this is the meaning. And logically, that can't be how the answer would work. Because if I said, the meaning of life is this, and you did it, then that kind of just becomes part of life. So what's the meaning of life and that? Do you see what I mean? Who's the unsolicited advice, I think, said it so much better. But I think hopefully I've captured some thing of what he said there. But I mean, even look, like, I'm talking with so many quotes from other people, and it's not really because I don't have my own individual thought, hopefully. It's just I'm trying to pull again, this is fucking Alex almost. I'm trying to pull all of this experience toward of me, because when I have more information about life, I'm now better able to orient myself into what I want to do. But yeah, so what do I do now? Because I've beaten the hill of like hills. I've escaped the matrix of like seeing life through a lens of, because there are people at my school and they think that like the next grade they're going to get is the most important thing, and it is to them because they believe it. But like, once you don't believe it, you're disillusioned. You can like go, no, school's not important, money is. But then like there's the ether of like, if you just go, okay, not money, like, what happened to the light there? I can like, whoa, cameras are cool. What do you do? How do you not despair? Because it's easy to throw your life away. And a good way out is to like maybe go, okay, I'm gonna just work for like my family or for like my partner, for like children and stuff. That's pretty good, but one, it kind of puts bad pressure on them. And so you can kind of just turn the question itself into the answer to it of someday, hopefully, I'm going to be sat here with like James Jr. Let me give James Jr. a hoodie. Hello, I'm James Jr. And he's going to be experiencing stuff like this, the existential stuff, or maybe me from a few weeks ago. One of the things I do really like is that I can look at fucking hell. I can look at videos I've posted in the past and know exactly where I'm at mentally with those. And it's really quite nice. And what is difficult is because what I'm experiencing is so real. And that's such a dumb thing to say. Of course it is. But it's not dumb in a bad way, because you shouldn't be like, I'm so stupid. Like, don't put yourself down. But it's obvious, and people forget it. Like, it's so real. I don't know how I'd go about capturing it perfectly, and you can't. And so it's just nice that I've started, and now I've got a little documentary, and I'll get better at it by doing it. But so many people are going to wait years to take the perfect step. They're going to wait for the perfect situation to start. But starting, it's Hormozy again, is the perfect situation. Like, because you're always going to be shit when you start. And had I waited even a month, man, this is just a good, and I'm not done. This is still the beginning, and it's a wonderful little way to frame it. But yeah, we just sat there on the bench and looking over a lake, and he's an atheist, but kind of has come to the conclusion the same way I did of like, I think what matters is just being a good person, and then you follow that thread long enough, and like that's how I found God. And so I'm pre-firing that he's gonna find Jesus by maybe the end of this year, but that's a pretty big long shot. But yeah, we're both just sat there, and I know that someday I'm going to be hopefully sat there with a kid and just have to explain that like there isn't like a big meaning to life. It just is. And what you can do is you can help other people navigate that uncertainty. And then really you can get to pick what you want to do. I had a great teacher. With stuff like this, with these sort of topics, words can have very different meanings. My friend was saying to me, because he's in his like first big proper relationship, emotionally for him, that I don't know if that's true, but yeah, he said like, music's hitting so different right now, and it is. It's like, before it's just like a good song, but suddenly a theme turns into an analysis of the human psyche. But like stuff like Tame Impala and stuff like that. And I said to him, that isn't you. That song doesn't have meaning. The words, like, because a few months ago, a few weeks ago even, you were listening to that song and it's just another song. And in a few weeks, you'll listen to it again and it will just be another song. You're imbuing it with meaning because of the story you tell yourself. And because there is no ultimate reason we're here, maybe that runs at odds against what people would say about like God. But one of the things I've noticed recently is that I just if like I feel like I've got a lot of thoughts going on, but none of them are in words. I think it's just a bunch of emotional processing, but it's wonderful. It really enriches my experience of life, and it's good. It kind of makes me want to take shrooms or something, because I'm like, it's really cool that you just unlock levels of consciousness. But no, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't even vape. Don't. It's bad for your health. It's like, I think yes, I know. Whatever. I'm not gonna lecture you. You can just make sure you live a happy life. Live a happy life. Life is really what you make of it, because you imbue meaning into things, and that sounds very like spiritual and poetic, but and then this is one of the things I like about Tony Robbins. Like, you listening to his stuff, you can kind of, there's like a little science to it, by choosing what you focus on in every moment. If the best demonstration he gave of it, look around your room and think of everything that's brown. Okay, just remember it, and then close your eyes, then tell me what was red. Okay, and now look around your room, tell me what's red. Okay, you're getting a lot more red stuff now because you're choosing to take it in. And it's weird, even then you probably saw a lot of beigey stuff and called it brown because you just wanted to like give yourself a little bit of kudos. It's a shame that this is at the end of the video, because people have like a retention of like 15% or something. But there's, I guess, a little nugget of information if a song I really like looking for. If you're here. And yeah. So if you look for good stuff in life, you'll find it. You really will find it. Because you live, Tony Robbins again, you live the life you're experiencing. Like, you don't experience life, you experience the life of the stuff you choose to focus on, and everyone has like a little story they tell themselves. And so yeah, get out there and really make your story fucking epic, because why would you not want to? It's scary, sure, but that makes the story more epic once you overcome it all and you're balling. Have a great one. Ciao.